I asked strangers on the internet to send me things. Fortunately, it was just their Minecraft worlds, particularly if they'd been living in a cave, but what I got in response was actually a range of worlds so diverse in terms of theme, structure, and design that it's actually a great reminder that where you spawn really can influence what you build and how you do it. And so if you're looking for inspiration on your next build, you're in the right place, and you can subscribe if you'd like to be there more often. With that said, let's get right into it. This first one really excites me because it is actually a caveman challenge from Boxy Blue Lock, and honestly, I absolutely love the first thing you see in this world, which is a giant furnace bridge, which actually connects 4 separate places, it looks like. What an incredible idea. Everything in Minecraft should be made out of furnaces, especially when you're mining so much stone. I can also give credit for this lovely moss platform, which is as high up as it possibly can be underneath the light, hoping to catch a wandering trader. I wonder if we'll see evidence later that he has found one of those, but for now, we can just see that this exact same cave that I've seen so many times just looks so different under these lights. And indeed, ooh, there is some nether brick fences leading me in the right way, or rather some crimson fences leading me where they want me to go. I am very curious what's going to be over here, and I just love this taking of natural terrain and just building some blocks over it to make it clear where you've got to go. Roads are one of the most essential things in any Minecraft world, and this is a really clever way to use them. Speaking of clever ways to use things, I don't know what's going on here, but I like the use of the wood clearly to do something a bit funky here, and then also a lot of grass around here, maybe also aiming for a wandering trader, maybe just trying to slowly terraform the cave. Either way, I'm here for it. If I had followed the road though, I would have found what I assume is his base. There's some questionable chest management here, but you know, something about people in glass houses. And then also the cows share the same space as the wheat. This seems like a really good idea, and honestly, if it weren't for slimes, I bet it would look better. But then also there's a Neverwart farm, and what else is going on here? Is this a second house? Oh no, there's just more of a base dug into the wall here. Oh, wow, look at this. I am loving what I'm looking at. This place is so well built, I didn't even think that it wasn't a natural village, even though we're obviously underground, and this is the old type of village. I am loving what I'm seeing here. This is such a fun way to incorporate old Minecraft into something that you're doing that's new. Having that ceiling up there clearly was as high as they could have stood for so much of this, but it's just such a fun way to build a space where they've clearly got room for expansion too. This is really, really fun in my opinion. I can't help but be curious though, what's going on in the Nether, and more importantly, do they have any fun tunnels going anywhere, or have they built this all from stuff they found elsewhere? Let's go for a look, I guess. The only answer I can see is that they didn't go this way. Clearly, there's absolutely nothing over there, so let's see where they went instead and what they found. I'm back at the furnace crossroads, and I guess I'm just gonna take it this way because that seems like the most logical direction. They probably don't have this big staircase going to nothing. Although looking around here, it looks incredibly different to what I'm used to in my world, which is very weird to say the least. I wonder why it's such a different cave. Okay, there's clearly nothing going on up there, but they have mined so many blocks of cobblestone or deep slate, so we'll see if maybe it's over here that it happened. I'm loving this cutesy little bridge to get over the lava pile, but it seems to just lead me round the cave into the same place, so maybe they went down instead. Oh yeah, there's a sign over there. They definitely went down in that direction, so I guess we'll see if that's the place. I mean, there should be some form of sign somewhere, like a torch, or even a big tunnel. Wow, that was weird. Glad I survived it. Oh, yeah, they've been through here, clearly. We've got some cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate looks so much like regular deep slate that it's hard to tell. But I have, oh no, don't kill me, skeletons. Please don't. Oh, okay, spicy. But as you can see, this is clearly the place which he has gone. I'm curious, just in case he found anything interesting, or maybe even just dug out the tunnel weird. I think that one of the cool things about this challenge is it kind of shows you how different people dig tunnels, and so that is not a tunnel, but this staircase probably leads to something. If he put a wall over there. I think one of the most underappreciated things in Minecraft is how you can dig into negative space and actually do some really interesting things. However, it seems as though this person never really went caving anywhere, and so maybe they haven't bothered going to the end, they've just bothered surviving in the most interesting way possible. It definitely looks that way, although I'm a little bit confused as to why. Honestly, this world still was very inspiring, and I love quite a few things they've done solely in a cave. Curious what you get up to in the future. Speaking of the future though, let's go into the next next world. Oh, what a weird spawn point for a world. This is the exact opposite of a cave spawn, but it is a very interesting one anyway, because it looks like they've set up spawn on a giant island in the sky with some skulk trapped in a... whatever. It's a... today I'm gonna have to go to the Nether Highway and go to -300, -100. Very curious as to why it's so good, but I don't have privileges to actually open stuff, so instead, we'll just say from here, let's see what's going on around. Oh, can we even get to that island? I don't think we're going to be able to. Okay, before I risk my entire life for this jump, I do want to say, I like the way these chains are done over here. It means that there's a clear fence that you can see through, but also you can't get through without trying. Even crouching looks like it should work, but just doesn't. So I like chains as a clever way to make kind of see-through fences. But what I also like at this jump, which I'm going to pull off right now. Oh, there's some slimes. Perfect. Wow. Didn't even need to stress too much. So, as you can see, everything is lovely, and I can even jump right down here if I want to, and see what's in the rest of this world. So I'm gonna do my best to get to -100, -300, but on the way, I think I should record some B-roll real quick. I think that joke is exclusively for video editors watching this. By the way, hello, how's it going? You ever realize how on most platforms it's called like a fourth wall break when the show admits the outside world exists? But it's called a normal YouTube video when that happens. In fact, it's weird when YouTube videos don't pretend the real world exists. Like, I find it to be really painfully, almost like cringeworthy when it's like, yes, I am very much a Minecraft character. You know, it's an interesting change that comes with format. Speaking of format, this is going to be a long pathway through the woods, which is getting significantly less exciting to walk down. Oh, there's something big in the distance, though. No, I've got to go to -100, -300. That is what he demands of me. Oh, wow. Okay, you know, I was trying to go to -100, 300, but I'm just following the trail, which has led me to this lovely little town, village, city thing. I love when people have a vision for something, even if it's not my favorite building style, like this kind of medieval vibe. Not even medieval, like fantasy, old-timey. But I love when people have a vision that they're good at executing. I think that is, you know, competency is really interesting, and this is a great example of competency. They had to carve this mountain out in such a perfect way that they had to envision it ahead of time. Building these walls even takes a lot of stress, and so the fact that they did this all, pretty darn impressive. Speaking of impressive, let's go to the top, I guess. Man, there's so much cobblestone laid into this. Like, the amount of time it takes just to destroy a mountain, then use some of the cobblestone you've gone to replace the blocks. It seems a little excessive to me, but I can't deny the results are something to behold. But yeah, if we get all the way to the top here, I can't eat it all in this world, but I can ride horses, which is weird. If we get all the way to the top, then hopefully we can see, there we go, yeah, -300, 100. That is the Nether Portal Highway, I imagine. Let's send the horse in and let's go in ourselves. Wait, this is a zombie pigment farm, never mind. It does lead to the same place though. This is the Nether. We've got a snow fox to join us, a pile of boats. Okay, this is interesting. Oh, no, this isn't interesting. Okay, they really wanted me to see their Nether Highway, but I don't have boat privileges, so I'm just gonna ride a horse along it instead. You know, this is always nice. I think using fences against like, oh no, okay, this isn't nice anymore. I think using fences is a bit of an interesting artistic decision, but I'm just here to see what happens. Oh, they mined these blocks very recently. Okay, this is gonna be the best part of the world. This is where the crazy stuff happens. What is going on with this entire world? Why am I here? You gotta give me that reason. Oh, another base. This one, much more work in progress than completed. I think this is a cool way to do a Minecraft world. If you do have lots of competing styles and desires, why not do them in different parts of the world? This is much smaller scale than the other place, and it would be overshadowed by it if they were side by side, but by having a little bit of a gap between them, in fact, over 1,000 blocks off it, you can see that instead we have a much nicer kind of vibe for this. Although again, very much work in progress to say the least, but you know, it's a work in progress I'm down to see. I have a theory that whatever they're doing here is going to involve a lot of green wool at some point. So again, very different building style. It's fun that if you're the sort of person who really likes building and feels like, yeah, you build the best things in the world, trying a different style is a good way to actually challenge yourself. I do have to admit, I have very much a style that I get to use over and over again, so it's fun to do something a little bit different. Speaking of different, yeah, they got some weird flags here. Very much an accurate Czech and Swedish flag and a less accurate British one, but they tried their best. Oh, wow, this must be their base, because look at all this storage. Not just shulker boxes, but like There's a lot happening in here, huh? This is a world I'd love to explore more of, but I don't have any building privileges, and I'm trapped in the sheep pen, so I'll be a sheep for the rest of today. But let's move on to the next world, okay? This world is just mysteriously called Survival Sands, which I am very curious about. I have to assume it's desert-based, and maybe the spawn is backing that up, but whoa, my god. Look at the scale of what we're seeing around us. I am going to be very curious as to what's going on here. They have too many signs, but let's see if we can briefly go through it. This is Survival Sands, a full survival world. This is the seed, and we're within Sandington Walls. My brother gave me the seed from an outdated seed sundae. The closest portal was missing, deserts are everywhere, and my house has underground storage full of stuff the villagers enjoy their lives. No angry hurring here. That's nice. This is definitely a world I'm excited to see because, I mean, just looking at the locator map, you can see there's a lot going on here, and let's try and look at some of it, I guess. So this world is filled with very intense and beautiful builds, both big and small. We all know this is the best one you can make, but just behind me seems to be a house where he doesn't feel like moving, and I'm very curious to see what that is because it looks like, oh yeah, it's like a starter house, but you know, using the modern definition of that word. It's a very cramped place, but honestly, very compact and efficient, right? Unless you go underground, in which case the storage seems to be near infinite in every direction. This is wild. It makes sense if you play this much Minecraft, it goes like this. I do like your... I do like the banner. You know, I like when someone plays back being like, yeah, I like your stuff. I think that's a fun thing to do. Some people get a little bit strange about it and they're not like sure, like, okay, I've got to pretend I don't care. I think it's just nice to be like, yeah, here's a fun little symbol to show that I appreciate what you do. That's what I think almost anyone values. Speaking of things they value, I could probably get my hands on a lot of salmon right now. Sure hope it's big salmon I've got in my hands. But yeah, what we can also see while looking around is just the size of this one building, which makes me curious about the rest, right? Because I am a bit of a stickler for seeing a big city and thinking, you know what, I bet all these buildings are empty on the inside, so let's take advantage of the elytra that he gave me and find out what's going on over here. It's a big clock, but there's nothing inside of it. Let's see what's up here. It looks like this kind of runs out too, right? Yeah, oh my gosh! Oh, that's a lot of blocks going on here. What do you think's happening? This is where he trades carrots. This is where he trades potatoes. I like that. That's a very fun, well-built way to show it off, actually. And then down here is where some other stuff happens. It's a bit weird that those workers live in a giant building. I mean, it implies that in the skyrises of this world, people go to work every day, they commute in to the big city, and then they start doing agriculture work. But, you know, we won't think about that too hard. What we will think about is how this is a mesa biome now, and indeed, underneath the giant skyscraper, there's a cute little house. There's a lot of unfinished projects here. You know, can totally relate. You have a really good idea, you think it's wonderful, and then you do it, and you're like, so what? What's the point of this again? I think the shifting interests is one of the things that really defines getting to a Minecraft world this big, because you have to think, yeah, I need a desert mansion-looking thing. I need a giant pathway that goes all the way across the world. Oh, this is minecart. And then I need a giant set of walls and... what is this, like kind of like a church-looking thing? What are these, like speaker grills? There's a lot of things that you look around and you get very curious about. Oh, a mega desert temple. Okay, I'm loving this. I'm curious and I'm loving it. This is such a cool idea for a build, and I think if you've got a big desert anyway, then this is a wonderful place to build it. I think using sandstone to build on top of the mesa, very intriguing idea to say the least. That's the fun thing about your spawn biome. Like, you can take advantage of destroying the thing entirely, building on top of it, and then you have a particular set of blocks to use everywhere else. I think that is something very, very fun in my opinion. That's something I figured I'd confirm, and it looks like this is the proof of that. Look how much desert has been purely destroyed here. It looks like you know, one of those anarchy servers with just absolute messes everywhere. Speaking of messes everywhere, this world is just filled with big things to look at. But I think without a cohesive way through it or a reason to understand it, I guess on a single player world you don't need one, but I think it is always good to have like clear ways to understand where something ends and another thing begins, because otherwise you just have a big mess of stuff all very close together. I think this is why breathing space between builds can actually be a good idea, as well as helping you have very different themes, but that's just my thought. Is this an actual tiger biome or did he make one? I'm curious. Otherwise, I have to say, in 2 years, this is an insane amount to achieve, so really good job, honestly. Have to say, if nothing else. So yeah, with that said, let's move on for... oh, and look at this, a barrel bridge. Love to see it. Speaking of things I love to see, moving on to the next world, it's called Survival Easy Mode, which is very curious. Are they just saying that it's an easy world, or are they saying that like their life is so good it's on easy mode? It looks like the latter based on the multiple dragon heads, the Mojang banners everywhere. On the one hand, it's less crowded with builds than the last world, but on the other hand, they only offered me diamond armor, so, you know, got differing opinions on that. But yeah, let's grab the spyglass and let's go for a look, shall we? Okay, first things first, they've got themselves a sky height sugarcane farm, although they built a sky for which the height seems to refer to, but you know, technically counts. Love that a lot. Same thing with wheat. Okay, you know what, this is a world I can get on board with. I can also get on board with a pre 1.17 mine. What is that? What is that? Oh, okay, let's go down. Using diamond blocks as an access point to your mine. A little bit of a flex, I have to say, but maybe in a good way. Yeah, you can see they have absolutely destroyed this place for all the diamonds they can get. I like that. I mean, having to put a blue ice pathway into your mine so you can access more of it kind of tells people just how many diamonds you've mined. So yeah, it is a flex and not a sign of a cheater, which is a rare thing to be able to say, but still very nice anyway. The same thing is true for whatever the heck this farm is. Just looking on the side of that, it looks wild. Oh, it's all wheat. Oh no, it's carrots even. They have a crazy height sugarcane, a crazy height wheat farm, and they decided they need to do the same for carrots, potatoes, and beets. And you know, I can't fault them on that. Yeah, you can see they've definitely done their farming to the max here, which is nice. You might be getting just a little bit silly by the time you do want the sweet berries though. Is this really necessary? Okay, yeah, you know, I like it anyway. Glad they've done it. They've even got the little lines in the middle so they don't have to get all sweet berried up to go in there. Very, very, very silly, but I'm enjoying it. Then also we've got these giant pathways in the sky, and then also they've got like a pretend nether over here. It's got lots of fire, that's all I can see for now. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but I can see the effort that's gone into it. Is that a compliment though? You know, it's like saying, yeah, you put a lot of work into this, and I can tell that it's something, I just don't know what. Is that rude at a certain point? I'm obliged to think maybe yes. I think ultimately though, people send in their worlds knowing that I'm going to be honest about what I see in them. I think, you know, sometimes it's really nice to be overly nice and kind of lie to people about stuff, but I also think sometimes it's the most nice thing you can do to say, what have you done here? What is this? What am I looking at, and why does it exist? If it's meant to be the nether, why are the walls constructed of random overworld blocks? It just doesn't make any sense, okay? Just like how this, I assume, is a map wall that I can go look at, but from here, it just kind of looks like a bunch of weird item frames. On the other hand, this village right here is attracting my attention. Oh, I just realized what they're doing with these glass shields. They set them up so that they could stop lightning from striking. This was the OG version of the lightning rod. Wow. And this is the OG version of a villager farm? Oh no, it's just storage. Whoa, cool way to do it. I think the dug in the hole version of storage is like a, you know, it's a kind of done thing, but this is a clever way to integrate it into apparently a village, but also this is a clever way, in my opinion, to make it open air at the same time as dug in the ground. No big chest bulge hiding away from people. Also, look at the look at the church. I love when people take Minecraft structures and make them silly. I'm glad, I can tell these people are subscribed to the channel, and I'm really glad you are. I'm glad you could show me this world. Very appreciative of you sending it into me, by the way. Just like how seeing this coal beacon makes me appreciative of something or other. This very chunky cat makes me feel a little bit targeted, while the bank next door, you know, maybe a bank of Toy Cat perhaps. Oh, look at this. It is Ocelot 2021. Okay, totally not targeting me, and this bank has nothing to do with me either. It's all good. Although I want to go in the bank. Let's see what the way in is. I'm guessing it's just behind the painting somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I didn't break that. You didn't see it. There we go. Look, everything's fine. What's in the vault? The vault is just a picture. Can we go behind that? Yes, we can. What's in the vault? Is it another picture? Oh. And then what's our way down here? More paintings we've got to go through. This is fun, actually. And then inside is 6 rotten flesh as a reminder that you shouldn't be breaking into people's bank vaults. I like it. Really, really silly, but in the perfect way. Honestly, I like this Minecraft world. It is a clear testament to someone in survival doing some big things of the stuff they got. And I like that. Meanwhile, I also really like this salmon ladder that I'm looking at. I have no clue what's happening. Oh. But you know, salmon ladders are a real thing. They definitely look like that in the real world and aren't a way for salmon to get between rivers. And then this is a salmon that is so strong he's broken out of a giant wall of stone. Again, I think these are really clever little build ideas. Oh, and there's a song that goes along with it. Okay, so this is the inconspicuous button. Oh, it's a communist salmon. Comrade Big Salmon, December 21. Man, I have to say, I was thinking like, this is a pretty good world, but putting the entire Soviet march into, putting the entire USSR anthem into note blocks for your Comrade Big Salmon joke, this is 10 out of 10. No Minecraft world can top what I just saw there. This is so much work to go through, and I really do love the end result, I have to say. It seems a little unfair on this last world, but we'll give it our best shot anyway. There's a lot for me to see. Grab a boat, follow the signs, and travel down the Nether path. You know, I've heard that too many times today, but I'll choose to believe that this man has good intentions, and the firework rockets are starting to take me down that path. So we'll grab an elytra. I'm sorry, poor armor stand, but I do kind of need it. I'll grab a boat, and let's see where it takes us. Am I going home or to the Skelly farm? I'm gonna guess I'm going home. I like the use of the hanging sign, by the way, and I like the idea that home is nearby. Yep, home to the left. It's gotta be home that I want to see, right? No one puts all their work into their skeleton farm, I don't think. That way is Wither Farm and Blaze Farm. It's a nicely labeled well. You know, oh yeah, I like this. The Basalt Delta is a hard biome to conquer, but if you do it, I think it pays the right dividends. Look at this. Oh, and there's it. You can see the, oh wait, no, I thought this was glass, but no, there's a ghast about to attack and prove why you do need to fully glass up worlds of this nature. But otherwise, I love the idea of being able to look at all the ghasts and them not be able to attack you. But that's not what we have here. We just have a hellish biome that happens to be settled nicely in. I am now at the man's house, and I can say I am a little bit confused as to the aesthetic they're going for here, but isn't this beautiful that all of the houses we've seen today looked so radically different to each other, yet you wouldn't say any of them were objectively bad, right? This is an important thing to remember when playing Minecraft. Like, it is way more important to be unique than it is to be the best thing in the world. There is no such thing as a best Minecraft house. This guy has an iron golem farm chilling in one end of his house. On this side of the house, it's like a compound. It looks like, is there even a way in there? Yeah, there doesn't look like that. This looks like it's something important, all sorts of farms. And so this must be where he actually lives. Yeah, there's a bed in there. There's an enchantment room. I think, actually, I would say this is objectively bad, if only because getting to the bed requires climbing a ladder and then going all the way across the house, through the brewing room, the enchantment room, down a set of staircases, and then hiding right next to some doors. It just feels like you're gonna end up having problems more often than not here, but maybe that's the design. Maybe, oh, there's a secret second way to this. Now it's only one staircase and then a jump. Oh, there's a second ladder. So yeah, 2 ladders down, and then you can see the archaeology. So yeah, this is a really fun idea for a base. It's very black for my liking, very one tone, but I think a lot of people do like this, like, you know, not using color except when absolutely necessary, because it makes it stand out so much more when you do it this way. Like, look at that roof right there. Impressive, right? I'm starting to think the entire theme of his overworld is the Nether, and that's because there's a whole biome made up of these warp blocks with some Nilium everywhere else. I do have to say, I think that's a fun way to take things. Like, not only are you taking blocks from biome to biome, he's taking them from dimension to dimension and mixing in some mushroom for good measure. That is a fun hybrid of 2 biomes right there that I am totally on board with. Oh, and it's also a clever way for him to keep all of the villagers with different trades in one place, so he can trade for any enchantment he wants at any point in time. This is a clever way to do a village because you actually might need to go to some of their houses at some point. I like it. Looking around the area, you can see that it's not just this that he's done. He's also got a very wild like zombie pigman farm, a lot of trees of each type lined up here. It's like he's a collector. The point of trees is to be collected, not chopped down. And then finally a big farm going vertically over there. This is a very different way to play survival than the rest of the worlds we've seen, but fundamentally it's the same idea of setting yourself one project after another, doing something new with each one. What if you built entirely out of deep slate? Could you make that look appealing? I think he did that. What if you built a mushroom biome mixed with a warp forest? Yeah. Then what if you built village designs into it? I like the way this world is lots of different things merged together, so different to each other, yet kind of fitting regardless. You can really appreciate the effort when you fly around the island here, that so much of this had to be built on reclaimed land. So much of this, oh, it's actually, never mind, it's all a mushroom biome, but he still had to cover it, interestingly. That's still, you can tell that some of it is still reclaimed land because it doesn't have the purple water, and you can also tell it took so much work to cover it in deep slate and black stone and polished deep slate, and it's a a really, really, really intriguing world with a kind of real-world junkyard over here. It's very... Oh, also look at that. So he's got these kind of sewer grates, so it implies there's a sewer system. I love these clever individual ideas when they combine together to fit into a somewhat cohesive theme, and that's totally what I'm seeing over here. Although it does break apart when you look at the sugarcane farm, and it breaks apart even more when you see this little house chilling on an island. Is this the guest room? Oh no, this is the, this is the war crime area. This is where you breed villagers until eventually you get the right guy. Seems a little bit messed up, as that's all, but that's fine. You know, if you aren't allowed to torture a few villagers here and there, what's the point of playing Minecraft? And ultimately, I think, if there's one thing I take from this video, it is that I love this idea of combining two very different biomes together. I think the mushroom biome plus the warp nilium works well, really, really well. In fact, what two biomes would be fun to combine? If you're looking at this and you're looking for inspiration, I know a lot of people do like seeing that from people's builds. I would say try and combine two unconventional biomes together and see how it goes for you. What about a roof forest in the end? What about, if you take the, the ocean, for example, and you combine that with a basalt delta, like a basalt ocean kind of thing? There are a lot of fun ideas that this gives me, but for now, I have to say, this has been a lot of fun today. Thank you to everyone who sent in their worlds, and if you're curious about how often Realm Review is, it's every month or two-ish. It's bi-monthly, but sometimes that means once every 2 months, and sometimes that means twice every month, but I miss one of the 2 episodes in the month. So, with that said, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!